Hi, good morning and good afternoon. Thank you for joining our webinar today. I am Christine Paulson, Marketing Director at Totango. Before introducing today's topic and speaker, I'd like to go over a couple of housekeeping items. First, if you have any questions on the material presented, please enter your questions at any time in the Ask a Question tab at the top of the webinar player. Our presentation will actually only take about 20 minutes today, and we'll answer as many questions as we can after that and let you go back to work. Second, if you're having any audio issues, please check your network connectivity. And we are recording the session, and we will be providing the replay link available on our website shortly after the webinar. So welcome, everyone. Again, we're here today to talk about Show Me the Money, Keep and Grow Customers by Proving Your ROI. I'm honored to be here with Omer Gotlieb, our presenter today. He's our Chief Customer Officer and co-founder of Totango. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Omer. Omer?
Thank you, Christine. Hi, everybody. I'm excited to be here and share with you some of the knowledge that we have about ROI metrics. You see here my Twitter handle and my email address. Feel free to tweet me, send me emails about anything regarding customer success, about this specific webinar or any question you have about customer success. I'm really happy to answer those questions. Thanks again for joining us. If you're here and you haven't heard about Totango before, Totango is the leading customer success platform. We have about 150 of the leading cloud and SaaS companies. You can see some of the names here, and if you need more information, just check our website, www.totango.com. Okay, let's speak about ROI metrics. And the first thing I'd like to speak with you about is how essential those metrics are. And the reality is that for subscription businesses, growth is actually really tied to delivering business results. People right now are much more picky, much more sophisticated. Other than just experience and product, they are looking for business results. So proving them a positive return of investment, an ROI, is actually the best way or the best thing that you can do in order to retain and grow your customers. There's actually a survey done by IDC specifically for B2B companies that shows that about 81% of your buyers actually expect you as a vendor to be able to show them the value that your solution actually delivers. So you do need to be able to prove ROI to your customers. I will even take this further and I will claim that you have to prove ROI to yourself. Think of it, if you have a good way to measure your business, whether you're actually delivering a return of investment or you're delivering results for your customers, I claim that you're going to have a much better business to run. So, again, a lot of people are actually expecting you to provide and prove ROI metrics. But the problem is that it's very difficult to calculate those metrics. That's some of the things we'll focus on today. 65% of those buyers indicate that they don't have the knowledge and don't have the tools to actually understand and to deliver ROI metrics. We see a lot of customer success teams and a lot of sales teams that collect feedback from their customers, collect NPS scoring, sometimes maybe just login details. We're missing a major point. We're missing a way to actually calculate and present ROI metrics. And we know it is a difficult task to do. So what I wanted to do today is mainly share with you the ways that we think could be easier for you to think and actually calculate return of investment metrics. So there's actually three categories that when I work with my customers, I like to speak with them about. One, ROI relates to revenue, improved revenue. Is my product paying for itself? That's more easy to understand, but in reality, sometimes it's difficult or even impossible to tie your product to exactly improved revenue. So the other categories are increased productivity. Do I have a product that is allowing my customer to do more with less? Or improve results? Are they doing a better job with my product and because of that, they're getting a positive ROI. And I want to focus on some examples that will help us actually understand those things. But first, how do we start? We need to create and define custom ROI metrics formula that are actually applicable to your business. There isn't one size fits all. In this presentation, I'd like to share with you some examples that will give you ideas on how to think about those metrics. And as I said, feel free to reach out to me after the webinar, and we'll be more than happy to help you with thinking about what should be your ROI metrics. Let's start with some examples. Usually, to create the right ROI formula, you should start with the results and the outcome that your customer expects with your product. So let's take a few examples. Let's say I'm a payment processing software. Could be, PayPal, for example, or a ticketing software that sells tickets. One of the basic formulas should be a revenue-based formula, which means what's the contract value divided by the payment processed by your customer. So, for example, if you are a payment processing software and I'm one of your customers, I'm paying you $1,000 a month, but actually able to process, because of you, $50,000 per month. I'm actually, spending 2% for my revenue with you. As a vendor, you would like to show me that this percentage is actually decreasing, and then I'm getting a better ROI. If my percentage would be 5%, I would probably cancel my service. I don't want to spend 5% of my revenue with you. But if you're going to show me that because I'm using you more and more and more, this percentage decreases and I'm paying you just 0.5%, for example, that's a great ROI. I want to be your customer. The second example, let's think about online recording software, applicant tracking software. There's a lot of companies like there are some of our customers, JobVite, Resonator, and more. So think of an interesting metric that will actually show you the quality of candidate pipeline. This is an example here that takes the number of candidate interviews, because let's assume that people that have reached the interview process are better candidates than people that didn't reach the interview process on the stage. So we're dividing the number of candidates interviewed by the number of total applicants. And that's a metric that will show me the quality of my pipeline. So if I'm, an online recruiting software, I would like to show to my customers that it's not only I'm helping them to get candidates, they know that, but I'm helping you to get good candidates, or I'm actually helping you to measure the quality of the candidates. And I need to think of what do I do in order to improve this ratio. But once I'm actually putting it in front of my customers and also in front of my organization, those are the things that I can actually walk by. Let's switch to another example. There are a lot of help desk software companies out there. Kayako is one of our customers. We have quite a few others. By the way, if you are a help desk company and not using Totango, feel free to reach out. There's a lot of best practices that we can share with you. But there's an interesting metric that I think is easier to understand. If I'm buying a help desk software, one of the reasons I'm buying it is in order to make sure my agents are actually productive, that they can deal and close sufficiently more and more tickets. So a simple ROI metric here would be agent productivity. You simply take the number of tickets closed, let's say, in a week or in a day or in a month, really depends on your cadence, and divided it by number of agents. And all of a sudden, you have a great metric that you should present to your customers, and some of our customers are actually doing this, that enable you to track improvement in agent productivity. So it's not just about reporting how many tickets you closed as an organization. You're actually able to provide them a metric saying, are you doing a good job as a help desk? And if you take it to the next step, think of what will happen if you can actually benchmark them with other organizations in the same vertical or the same size. All of a sudden, there's a metric that they look at you as the expert of, this is the way I need to run help desk software. So instead of, I'm just a help desk software provider, you now become a trusted partner, and you can actually teach them about what to do when your agent productivity is decreasing or increasing. One of my best practice recommendation is always to start with keeping the formula simple and measurable. This is one example of the user interface in Totango that basically enables you to easily drag and drop any attribute that you have in the system and create a formula out of it. We have some advanced users that create really, really complex formula, but as a recommendation, always start with something small. You can see here the agent productivity example, which basically takes a couple of attributes, ratio between them, and that's about it. So when you think about those metrics, I would recommend not to start thinking about things that are complex. What are the simple things that you can actually think about and build, and later on, let's fine-tune them and add more and more parameters to that. So now that we actually spoke about why ROI metrics are important, and hopefully I gave you some good examples on how to think about the right ROI metrics for your organization, I think it's also important to discuss what should we do with them. It's not about just presenting them. I think you should actually incorporate those metrics throughout your customer success practice to drive results. And some of the things we recommend to do them, or the main things we recommend to do with them, is one, you should base your health score, or you should actually build your health score with a major component that incorporates those business results. The next thing that you can do with them is actually incorporate those results when you're actually reviewing your accounts with your customers, when you're doing QBR, for example. Imagine what would happen when you can actually present those metrics for them. And the third thing is trying to make changes, trying to drive impact by running smart engagement campaigns, but again, using those metrics. Let's dive into those for a second. So, what impacts customer health? There's a lot of documents, a lot of material that we publish in Totango about health. So if you want to drill down more, feel free to look on our blog or just send us an email. But my high-level overview about a good health score is the ability to combine business outcomes with product engagement and service utilization. These are the most important things in a health score that will actually let you know if somebody is in good health or not. Imagine that you're doing a QBR with your customers. The things that you want to show them that they're doing great on your business, and you want to show them that they're actually doing this, getting those great results because of you. So the because of you is the part of the product engagement and service utilization. And again, we can speak about this later in different webinars. But how do I prove those business results? How do I prove my customers that they actually see value? So again, those are exactly the ROI metrics that we spoke about. This should be a major component in your health score, and you should try to think of what are the right metrics to include in your health score to really understand if a customer is healthy or not. This is an example of, again, how to do that. Here we can see that we create a health score based on agents' productivity, but also usage frequency, utilization, engagement, and in addition, the number of support tickets that this account is actually opening. So include those ROI metrics in your good, average, and poor health profiles. The second thing we spoke about is how do we expose this data to our customers? And I think one of the things to do that should be a QBR. So if I would be you, I would design a QBR template that includes the business results that your customer is getting because of you. What are the results that we're getting right now? What's the trend? Am I actually improving or not? What are the benchmarks? So how am I comparing to other customers at my vertical side? And also, what do I need to do to make better? This is more for a B2B high-touch relationship, but again, if you're able to have this discussion, you're actually becoming a trusted partner. And this is eventually what will make customers stick with you. It's not just about your product, it's about partnership. And this is a good way for you to form a great thought leadership about your domain just because you're able to provide visibility for the right business metrics for your customers. You'll be surprised how many of them actually didn't think that these should be the right metrics. I think a discussion about it is something which is very critical to maintain healthy relationship with your customers. That's another example. I can actually show here if I'm, again, let's say I'm doing a QBR with one of my help desk company. So we have two graphs. One of them is high productivity. What's the number of agents that are actually, on a high productivity cadence? Let's say, for example, closing more than 55 tickets a week. And I see here, for example, that there's a steady increase in that, which is okay. But my goal would be how do we get more than 20 agents or 22 agents to be highly productive? The second graph is actually on the other side that shows you how many agents you have that actually their productivity declined. And I'm happy to see that the number of agents with declined productivity has decreased. And this is because, we taught you how to do that. We send you information because we released a new feature, because we have a great product. There could be many reasons, but this is a great way to show a customer because of me, because I'm teaching you, educating you, showing you how to use the product, having the right product. I was actually able to reduce the number of, let's say, low productivity agents. So again, that's a good example of how to use those metrics with your customers. And the last thing is, how do I actually make more impact? And using Totango, you can create automatic campaigns that are built to drive specific ROI goals. So the trick to do that is segment your customer base on, the account level and user level, really based on, high performance companies versus low performance companies. And you can think about different tiers. But the content of those campaigns should be about, let me help you reach to a better place with your ROI metrics. I've identified that 50% of your users are in lower productivity than the benchmark. In order to actually increase that, register for our next webinar. Buy our package. Buy a training package, for example. So those are the things that you can do even automatically once you have the data using Totango to reach out to your customers and make sure they're more engaged, but again, based on those really important business metrics. That's an example of how you can actually send an email campaign to customers. These are accounts that their agent productivity decreased by 30%, and I know that I'm not using any important feature, and my campaign would be if you would have used this feature, you would be able to increase your agent productivity. So just a recap of what we spoke today. ROI metrics are really important, specifically for B2B subscription businesses. Many of your customers actually expect you to provide this. And again, you should be able to actually manage your business based on this. The second thing is creating simple metrics that are applicable to your business. Think about, am I increasing revenue? Am I improving productivity? Am I improving results? And the third thing is, how do I drive my customer success processes using those metrics? Via health scores, in QBR reports, and in smart engagement campaigns. So I'm hoping that you learned a little bit about ROI metrics from this webinar. We're going to wait for a minute to actually read the questions and get back to you with answering those things.
Thank you, Omer. And I invite everyone to submit some questions in the Ask a Question tab at the top of your webinar player. And Omer, go ahead and take a look at them. So one question that came in was, what is basically the first step in determining what formula you need for your specific business? And they said that they're a mobile app publisher. So how do I start creating improved productivity for that?
Well, one of the things you'll need to think about is, what is the value that your customers are expecting from you? And for example, if you're a mobile app publishing, so how many applications they're actually publishing? And you can either tie it to a dollar value. So if you're charging them $1,000 a year and they're publishing 5 applications, then it actually costs them $200 to publish an application. You can try to tie it to other things as well. Again, it really depends on the data, but I would say that the goal of publishing an app is having people use it. If you can capture the number of people who are using it, and you can show them that you've just released 5 apps, and the average usage per week, per day, whatever it is actually increasing, but only for 3 of the apps, and 2 of the apps are not that well. And this is what you need to do, or best practices on how to develop those applications. I think that's a good place to start with. But again, think of maybe could be about productivity. So I'm buying your tools not just because I'm able to publish apps. I'm buying your tools because I'm actually able to publish apps more quickly. So think about it, again, ratio between number of days it takes to launch or number of developers. All those metrics you can actually calculate and have something which is intelligent about productivity there.
Great, thank you. So we've had a couple questions come in about the QBR. One is, could you just explain a little bit more about what QBR is? And then about the goal progress in your QBRs. Does that mean you have to establish those goals with your customers before they start using your product? Any guidance about going about that? Take it away, Omer.
Thank you, Christine. QBR is actually short for a quarterly business review. Let's call it an account review. That is an important part of a B2B customer success process, specifically with high-touch customers. With low-touch customers, you can actually automate those things. But the idea is having a session with your customers and making sure that you're on track for them to being successful. Yes, I would argue that you should probably define goals for your customers before they buy the product. If you don't do that, they will set your own goals. So again, if you're high touch, have a discussion with them. If you're low touch, make sure that in your messaging, in your product, the goals are actually clear. And there's other webinars that we've done and other information about what should be in a QBR. But the main goal of a QBR is, again, you need to understand their status, and they need to understand that they're seeing value because of you, and if not, or if they can actually improve this, what are the required steps to make sure that they see value. That's why adding those business metrics are very important. I know a lot of companies that when they do QBR, they're mainly focusing on the relationship, and they mainly focus on product usage. Those things are important. But I would recommend to start discussion first with, these are the results that you're seeing, and then let's move to the other things as well.
Great, thanks. And I think this is a really good question about ROI versus KPIs. So, ROI being the return on investment, but then there's, KPIs. What's the difference, and why do we call these ROI metrics?
Well, that's a good question. I think ROI metrics are specific KPIs that are related to the fact that I'm getting value from you. For example, again, I'm getting value because I'm increasing the agent productivity. KPI could mean, how I'm using the system. Again, those things are important as well. So you could tell me that, on average, I have 5 agents logged into my help desk system, and each one of them are spending 7 hours a day. This is a very important KPI for me because I have an organization of 15 agents. So how come just 33% of them are using it on a daily basis? But it's not an ROI metric. An ROI metric is, those productivity that I'm getting with them, or satisfaction level of customers, business results that I'm getting from them. So there might be some confusion between them. The best way to think about it is ROI are metrics that are meant to see if you're getting improved results, improved productivity, or actually even improved revenue.
Great. Good questions coming in. They're still coming in. One question, about, great, you've proven your software's ROI. How do you get your customers or clients to go ahead and start declaring that or allowing you to share those details? Or is that considered to be confidential? What's your argument for getting them to allow you to share those ROI results?
Well, if we are on a B2B environment and you have a high-touch model with your customers, it means that they're probably or should probably paying you a significant amount of money. It means that they're relying on your product to run their business. And you have to have some kind of partnership with them. They want to be able, think of it, the person that bought your system, he needs to justify why he's buying the system. He needs to justify it every year because he needs to renew that. And he wants or she wants to be able to say, I made the right choice. This is the right product. This is the right company. And this is why. From my experience, they are more than happy to share this, again, once you have this kind of relationship with them. So that's one angle. Let me help you to show you how you can actually improve. The other angle, people always like, and I think they're right, they like to compare themselves to others. How am I doing versus other companies? Is there any way that I can actually improve? Am I on the top 10%, 5%, 50%? Those type of discussion will lead your customers to share your data. Of course, you need to be very confidential with this data and never share data between customers. For example, when we do our benchmark, it's actually, we never expose one company data. We're just about the verticals and the segment, and we're getting those permissions from our customers. So to summarize my answer, yes, it may sound like something that may be difficult to get from your customers at the beginning, but if you position it that this is something that will help you, this is actually something that will help you understand the value that you're getting and presenting it to your managers and comparing to other companies as well, I found it easier than difficult.
Great. Thank you, Omer. Okay, we have another question. So you mentioned showing the customer their performance compared to a benchmark of all your customers. Does our software, Totango, allow them to do that?
That's something that if you're a Totango customer, you'll need to consult specifically with your customer success manager. The short answer is we have the data, but you're going to need to use our API to actually show it to your customers. Regarding benchmark, that really depends on the vertical that you have and whether we actually agreed to publish our benchmark data or not.
Great. Okay, I think we have time for maybe just one more question. Let me go ahead and bring that to the top for you, Omer. So it says, we're starting to do more customer marketing, but hadn't thought about tying the activities to driving an ROI goal. What should we include in those emails?
Great question. Think about those customer marketing emails as a way for you to automate those QBR sessions. So instead of investing resources and time in, a customer success manager to schedule a call and preparing for that, and, spending a lot of time with your customers, which is required, but right now you can automate those things. So you should be able to show their progress in achieving ROI goals. And what activities they need to do. So for example, how they need to answer a support ticket if you're a help desk company, and what features they need to use in order to get along those goals. So again, if I get back to the example, show this is your agent productivity metric. And you're doing good because you're, the top 30%. By the way, you're doing a little bit better than last month. But if you want to be in the top 10%, usually we found out that using these kind of features is actually the best way to do that. Or we noticed that, again, if you can find out that they have a new team, there's a webinar. These are the features, or these are the modules of my application that you can use in order to increase specifically those ROI metrics.
Great, thank you. And so I think we're going to go ahead and close the webinar today. I want to thank everyone for attending. We had a great turnout. On the slide, you'll see Omer's information again that he shared with you earlier, both his Twitter handle and his email. But if you also would like to learn more or see a demo of Totango, you can email us at info@totango.com. I want to thank Omer again and thank everyone. And with that, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Thanks, everyone. Goodbye.
Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.